Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Acting Secretary, for being here today. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Back in 2011, our Republican policy team traveled the state, and we really had a group of individuals set aside to work on job creation. And that job creation team went and listened to different business owners and job creators, entrepreneurs. And what we were trying to do was create a more business-friendly Pennsylvania. I think it was a great exercise of listening. There were some great ideas, and obviously we talked about taxation. We talked about a educated workforce, site development. So we had some great discussions. But the one thing that came out of those discussions was we really needed a place to go, a one-stop shop where we could get approvals, where we could track permits, where we could update our licenses. I know our professional license chairman is here today. There was just a number of places where we needed to go, simply because the way Pennsylvania is very fragmented. We have DCED, we've got Department of Revenue, we've got Department of Labor, and every department does their own thing, and they do it well. But we needed a website where we could funnel everyone to the right place where they wanted to go. And I know before Representative Grell talked to you about expedited filings of corporate information and incorporation laws. So along those lines, I drafted some legislation which would basically generate a website where we could do some of this under your department. It did pass the House in 2012. It went to the Senate. The Senate liked the bill. And the governor's office at that time really liked it as well. They were concerned about some of the costs and said, quite frankly, we like it so much, we're going to do this, but we really don't need your bill. And I really hadn't heard much about it since that time until I read your testimony. And your testimony on page 4 under businesses that prosper, was extremely exciting when I saw it, because you basically said that you're going through a complete rebuild of the PA Open for Business. So if you just would like to update us on the status of that website and let us know when you're going to have a soft open for that would be great.
Well, thank you, Representative. And I'm so glad that you touch upon that, because as you can tell, I'm very proud of where we're headed. The Department of State, we think of the work that we do in the agency itself as the starting point, the foundation for economic development in Pennsylvania. Because if you have a legitimate business, it starts with the registration with our Bureau of Corporations and Charitable Organizations. Dating back to the late 90s into the early 2000s, the Commonwealth launched the website PA Open for Business. PA Open for Business with the number 4 as opposed to the word for. And that it was a good start, where someone who wants to open a business in Pennsylvania, if you happen to be the small business owner that doesn't have the resources or don't care to hire the law firm or a professional group to handle all of your documents, not only with the Department of State, but the taxing numbers with revenue, and then workers' comp and unemployment compensation with labor and industry. If you're not that person that's going to pay somebody else to do it, this was a one-stop shop to do so. However, over the years, the website did not keep up with the technology, and we continued to get feedback that it was a little bit cumbersome to do work through the site. Afterwards, there was the creation of PA Biz Online, which is a second iteration, but it didn't replace completely PA Open for Business, because there was some disagreement as to how to get there. Different agencies were owner of different parts of the component. So where we find ourselves, I was very excited when we just came into office a couple months ago, a coming together under the support of the Office of Administration of the Departments of Labor and Industry, Revenue, State, and DCED, where we decided it was time to revamp the site. In fact, they asked for a volunteer for an agency to become the owner of the project, and I raised my hand, although we were on the phone. But I volunteered for the Department of State to head that project once it's in place. And where we are right now is that we're meeting those agencies that I mentioned to talk on the requirements for the actual build, and there is support to do that, meaning that we have technical experts that are helping. And we expect that we have an aggressive timeline, but we would like by the summer to launch the new site, and it will be a new and improved site that will take over the place of the current PA Open for Business and PA Biz Online. And it should be a fairly intuitive a process where someone answers a series of questions and the system itself guides you through what people don't see behind the scenes, which is going to the Department of State for corporate filings, going to revenue for their tax ID numbers, get you to labor and industry for those unemployment and workers' comp applications, and then guide you also to have the support from the ECD, not just for technical support, but perhaps some grants. And so we're working currently on that, and we're going to be engaging small business owners and others to test the application to make sure that it actually does what we're expecting it to do.
Thank you so much. I know when you talk to business groups, they talk about the workloads associated with paperwork, and of course now we don't use paper as much, but just the ability, people want to follow the rules, they want to do the right thing, but they need to know where to go. Sure. And the more that we can reach out to them and help them, look, we want them to create jobs and run their business.
Sure.
We don't want them to be in a backlog all day working on trying to navigate where to go in this Commonwealth to file a form. So it's an exciting, I think it's an exciting idea, and I appreciate that, the governor's taking this action because I think it's desperately needed by the business owners in this community. So thank you.
Agreed. Thank you.